It's the end of the year, and maybe you stopped trading until the new year, or maybe you're starting to think about winding down over the Christmas. And in this video, I'm going to explain how you can review your trading year in a psychological way and not in a way that is P&L focused. Welcome to the Trader's Muse. My name is Naomi. I'm a cognitive behavioural therapist by background and I trade. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how you can review your trading year in a way that gives you confidence going into the new year, gives you a learning opportunity and a way to reflect, which builds confidence without self-attack and without judging yourself. So this is really important. Doing this exercise will help you. And a lot of traders probably don't do this at all. Or when they do, as I mentioned, they're very harsh and very critical. And as humans, we tend to think in all or nothing terms or have black and white thinking. And perhaps think that a year might be good or bad. So, for example, we might look at the year and think, okay, did I make money or did I lose money? So, it's very binary thinking. Now, let's say, for example, it turns out that you lost money for the year. You may view that as an unsuccessful year. However, in doing so, you are minimizing, dismissing, and completely ignoring any achievements that you've had in terms of your trading psychology as well as your trading strategy. A lot of the time, it can feel like we've perhaps had a losing year monetarily. Maybe our P&L is down for the year, or perhaps we haven't made as much this year as we have in previous years. And we can just view our success based on that. And we're ignoring all the lessons that we've learned in maybe the losses or the wins that we've taken. We are ignoring the refinements that we've made to our strategy. We are ignoring potentially struggles that we've overcome. Maybe we've been able to tackle a huge obstacle that we've had. For example, over trading. Maybe you've been able to say to yourself, you're just going to stick to one setup for the year, and you were able to do that. Or maybe you said to yourself that you were able to not take too many trades per day. So this exercise is going to be really helpful to get you to review the year in a more holistic way and not just based on your P&L. This is going to be more in depth, more thorough, and it will leave you feeling encouraged and giving you a focus for 2026 to help you to be consistent as a trader. So a good end of year trading review, the psychological way, has four main pillars. And these pillars allow you to reflect on your trading in 2025 in a balanced way. As humans, we can have a tendency to focus on the negative only and dismiss what did go well. So these four main reflective pillars are going to be very helpful for you to learn about your trading in 2025 and to think about how you will carry that forward into 2026 or the next year, whenever you're watching this. So the first main pillar is to think about what didn't go so well in 2025 or whatever year you're watching this. So we're going to start there. What didn't go so well? The second pillar is thinking about what did work this year. The third pillar is thinking about what you learned about yourself as a trader this year. And the fourth and final pillar is thinking about what you will carry forward into the next year. Okay, so when you're reflecting on the first pillar of the end of year review, we are thinking about what didn't go so well. So, when you do this, it's really important that you're doing this in a non judgmental way, in a way where you're not self attacking. Okay, so it's really important that when you do this, you're not beating yourself up and you are trying to be as objective as possible. And you want to just focus on patterns as opposed to maybe isolated events. So thinking about maybe anything that was reoccurring throughout the year. And to help you do this, you can do it in a way where you're almost taking a helicopter view of your trading. So imagining that you're in a helicopter looking down at this person who is trading, which is yourself. So it's almost like a third person perspective, which helps to be less self-attacking and more objective. Or you can imagine that you're a fly on the wall watching this person who was trading. So if you review your trading year in that way, you can think about what you can observe, what you can see that didn't go so well for that trader, which is yourself. Okay. And so again, you're being really objective and you're thinking about patterns. So for example, you might say something like, I overtraded this year. I noticed that I overtraded. Or another example of something that didn't go well is maybe noticing that you lacked patience when there wasn't much volatility in the market. Okay, so those are good examples of things that you can write down that didn't go so well. The second reflective pillar is thinking about what worked this year or what went well with your trading. Even if the results were inconsistent, so for example, even if it meant that it led to losses as well, or it led to wins, that's fine. But you're really just focusing on what did you achieve this year? What did you overcome? What went well? So examples of this could be perhaps there were moments or a trade where you were really disciplined. Or maybe there was a day where you were able to follow your rules despite the market conditions, despite the price action, despite how you were feeling in that moment, or perhaps despite maybe what other people were saying to do or to not do, you were able to stick to your rules. And that is despite the fact that you have found that hard to do prior. Okay, so that's an achievement. Perhaps you were able to not trade on a day. Okay, perhaps you develop the ability to sit out of the market, to actually show up but not take a trade at all. Okay, that is an achievement again. Maybe something else that went well was being able to stick to one setup. Okay, or identifying what your A plus setup is. Okay, all of this is evidence of success and things that are going well. Maybe another example of something that worked this year is literally just being able to manage your emotions in the moment, in real time. Of course, you still feel them, we all do. But the difference between a consistent trader and an inconsistent one is that we are able to choose how we respond to these emotions and these thoughts and these urges and impulses that pop up in real time. Okay, so those are just a few examples of things that you can get down that worked this year. And it's so important that you do this because sometimes your P&L may not look like you're moving forward. However, when you actually force yourself to look at what went well and the successes that you have, it builds evidence that you are developing as a trader, and it will give you confidence going into the next year. Okay, you have to identify and acknowledge the progress that you have made. Okay, if you look backwards, you'll see how far you have come. And if you want help in tracking all of the milestones that you have and all of the achievements that you've made, despite what your P&L is saying, then take a look at my description below. I have a free resource which will help you do this. It's called the Trader's Positive Data Log, and this will help you to track all of your achievements and to collect a body of evidence that shows that you are growing and developing as a trader. The third pillar of this review is thinking about what you learn about yourself as a trader. So this is where you're going a little bit deeper and you're thinking about what you learn about yourself in relation to the market. So you might want to ask yourself certain questions such as, what did I learn about what triggers me in the market? So perhaps what causes fear in the market? Is it particular price action? Is it when price goes to your key areas? So it's thinking about, what did I learn about my triggers? What are my triggers in the market? What causes me fear? How do I respond to uncertainty in the market? So maybe when you're in the trade and you're seeing price action, how does that affect you? Okay, you might think about what beliefs were challenged for you this year. So beliefs about losing money, losing a trade, winning, what it means to be successful as a trader. So you're really thinking about what you learn about yourself in response to the market and how you respond to certain triggers. So that can be really helpful as well, because you may have learned something about yourself, which is what you'll take forward into the next year. So I have created a free PDF reflection worksheet, which is linked in the description below. So you can use this to do this exercise and really capitalize and make the most of the work that you have put in this year into your trading. You've showed up this year, you've traded and you've kept going. So do this exercise to really reflect on this year and get the most out of this experience so that you can go forward into the next year with confidence. Okay, as I mentioned, as humans and as traders, we will have a tendency to base our success purely on our P&L. And you have to remember that progress is psychological first before it's financial. So do this exercise. I'm sure you'll find benefit in that. You don't want to, by not doing it, it's almost a missed opportunity. Okay, go into the new year grounded, focused, and feeling confident and encouraged to keep up the momentum from this year. So grab your free end of year review linked below. If you want to go deeper into managing your own trading psychology, take a look at my evidence-based trading psychology course, which is linked below. It's based on cognitive and behavioral psychology. And whether you celebrate Christmas or not, I hope you have a meaningful day for you, and I will see you in the next one.